Hey there, thanks for joining me today. This is Laura Lynn with KeepInkingUp.com. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in San Antonio, Texas. And today I wanted to share these cute little favors made with the new Mini Curvy Keepsake die. So I think these are just adorable. Here's a pumpkin, here's a cute little mummy. And then this is just using designer series paper. If you have been around to Stampin' Up for a while, you might remember that we used to have a Curvy Keepsake die. And this was the size that it made before. It's substantially bigger than this new mini one. And I just loved this Curvy Keepsake. I made it all the time. This is a glowing pumpkin that I've made in the past. And I just loved this little favor, and I was so upset when it retired. So when it came out in the holiday catalog for this new mini one, I was super excited. But to be honest with you, because I had the original Curvy Keepsake, I wasn't thinking about purchasing it. But I'm going to tell you why I did go ahead and purchase this new mini Curvy Keepsake die. Now you'll find the bundle on page 21 of the 2019 holiday catalog. It comes with the dies and this stamp set. I did not actually purchase the stamp set. I just wanted the Curvy Keepsake because I loved the larger size one so much. So I was going to tell you why I went ahead and purchased it, even though I had the older version. This is the set of dies, and what I really liked about the new mini one is that the box cuts out in one piece. This is the die for the entire box, and you just run it through once, and you can use a sheet of 5.5 by 5.5 inch cardstock or designer series paper. The old one, you had to cut two pieces of a portion of the box, and then you had to put it together. You had to glue it. There's no gluing involved with this particular version of it, and so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and purchase it. The other reason is all of the other dies that come with it. Look at all these adorable little tags with the stitch detailing. There's some other dies in there as well, and these particular ones go with some stamped images from the coordinating stamp set that you can get with the bundle. And again, as always, the bundle saves you 10% if you purchase that as opposed to ordering them separately. Like I said, I just ordered this one separately because I just really wanted this particular die. I just love the shape of this. This is just such a cute little shape, and there's no glue to open and close the box. So it's when someone receives it, they simply have to open one side, and there's the candy inside. Now, another reason why this smaller version is really nice is that it is so much smaller, so it doesn't hold near as much candy. So if you're doing a bunch of these, say for maybe like a wedding favor, if you're making 100 of these, you don't want to fill 100 big favors with candy, so or whatever else you're putting in there. So this smaller size is kind of nice for a smaller amount of candy. So anyway, I wanted to show you how to make this cute little pumpkin version today. So I'm going to put these aside for a little bit. Like I said, I already showed you this. This is the die that you use, and you just need a piece of cardstock or designer series paper that is a 5.5 inch square, and this fits perfectly on there like that. You'll run that through your die cutting machine, whatever kind of die cutting machine you have, and this is what you will get. Now, a couple of tips. The score lines are already there, so I'm going to gently fold on all of the 4 score lines for the base of the box. But also another thing that I like to do, and I forgot to bring my bone folder over here, so I'm just going to use a Stampin' Blend, is I like to curl the pieces. Now, this is much better if you're using a bone folder, but I forgot to bring it over here. So I'm just gently bending these pieces so that they will bend easier to go together. There's also some score lines at the top of these handle pieces. Just bend those back, and then all you need to do is put those together and slide over the slot. And there you have the adorable little mini Curvy Keepsake box. But we want to decorate it, so I'm going to open it back up. I'm going to show you how I decorated it to make it look like a pumpkin. I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper here, and I want to put the jack-o'-lantern face on it. And I got the jack-o'-lantern face from the Harvest Hello stamp set, this one right here. I have that already mounted on a clear block. I'm going to stamp that in the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So I'll ink that up, and I will stamp that in the center of one of the more round ends as opposed to the teardrop end. I'll put that ink away. But I wanted to add a couple of lines on there. So for that, I used my Stampin' Blend markers. I'm using my dark pumpkin pie marker and my color lifter. I had to put big labels on here because my aging eyes just cannot see these little words on these markers. So I'm going to use the brush tip end. And I'm going to, oh, you can tell I've made a lot of these. It's kind of fraying a little bit. I need to get a new one. And I'm just going to paint a line around the side, then down the middle, and then in between. And then I'm going to do the same around the other pieces. And I'm just making lines just to kind of mimic the lines of the pumpkin. I'm sorry, you can hear my dog in the background. And I think that looks good. Now, I thought those lines were a little bit harsh, so that's what I brought in the color lifter. And what I'm going to do is, again, with the brush tip, I'm just going to kind of go along the edge of each one of those lines. And right now, it's going to look a little messy, but what this is doing is it is pushing away some of the color on those lines so that when it dries, they'll be a little fuzzy. So I'm going to do that all the way around. Like I said, it'll look kind of like a hot mess for a little bit, but we just need to wait for that alcohol to dry on the paper. Okay. And I'll do that on all of the lines. So it just takes a little bit. Last one. And I'm just going on either side of the line that I drew with the pumpkin pie marker. And then again, it's just to kind of soften the harshness of those lines. And so I hope you can see already, close that, make sure that your caps are closed. I hope you can see already how soft those lines are becoming. They're not near as harsh as they were when I first drew them on. So that'll take a little bit to dry, but I'm going to go ahead and close up one side. Now when you put candy in, you want to be able to have the people open it. So when I added the tag to decorate it, I added it when one side was open. Let's see if I'm explaining this very well. So you can still open and close this side without removing the tag. So I'm going to make my tag and then I'll put it on there. So I used the oval. Like I said, I'll bring in this again. There are several different shapes that you can use, and they have this cute little stitching on them. So I am going to stamp the word enjoy from Cup of Christmas. So I have that mounted on a block, and I'm going to stamp that in pumpkin pie to coordinate with the pumpkin pie cardstock. That's one of the things that I like best about Stampin' Up! Is the color coordination between the products. My ink will match the paper. So I'm going to ink up the enjoy and stamp that down onto my little oval stitched tag. Super cute. But I wanted to add a little bit more color to the orange, so I brought in a leaf from the, I think it's called Colorful Layers or Seasonal Layers dies. I'm not sure, but I'll put a link below of where this leaf came from. But it coordinates with the Colorful Seasons stamp set, but I can't remember the name of the dies. But I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the center of this leaf here. I'm gonna glue that right on there, and I'm gonna make sure that the hole is between the leaf. Got a little bit of extra glue there, but that's okay, it'll dry. Okay, and then I'm going to thread my linen thread through the hole and then through the handle of my pumpkin. And then I can knot this off. Oops, there we go. To add a cute little tag on my pumpkin. I'll knot that off and then I'll snip off the extra and slide that over, and then I can close up my pumpkin, and now I have a cute little tag on there. Isn't that cute? I think it's just the most adorable little box. That's why I love the mini. This is now the Mini Curvy Keepsake. So I hope you found this helpful and will want to go ahead and purchase this die set. I think it's so super cute, and like I said, here's the mummy one. This one I just ripped some paper, and then I used the faux suede technique by splitting the paper and then added that all around, and then I added the same little tag on there. And this one I simply made out of the designer series paper, and I used the heart shape for that. And like I said, there are several different shapes that you can choose from. I like the star one as well. So there's lots of choices. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful on how to make these adorable little mini keepsake boxes. As always, I will have links to all of the products that I've used in the description of this video below. So I would really appreciate it if you are interested in purchasing anything that you do shop my online store. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.